Hello, 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 and welcome to another stream of Boomeadow Builds, the State of Anarchy. We have been building a number of world maps for my homebrewed D&D campaign, and already, just straight off the bat, thank you, Tyrant Dungeon, for the raid. It is wonderful to have you here. It's wonderful to see you and Whimsical Bee. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I've been building, I have been building maps for my homebrew D&D campaign. And so far we have built the map for the Feywild, the map for the Material Plane, and we are working on the map for Hell. So, or Nethraeg as it is called. So I've been working on the 9 circles of Hell, and so it stands to reason that we're actually going to hopefully finish this circle. I have been trying to figure out what I'm calling things, because it has come to the time when we get to name bays, we get to change the name of the hillsides, we get to put in different names for hillsides and things like this, and eventually we get to name towns and things like this, and lots of shading and all that jazz. So it is wonderful to have you here. Let me know if the music's too loud, or if I'm too loud or too quiet. Yeah, well, it is a part of the whole planarscape of D&D, so it makes sense, I guess. And hello, Queen Zephyr. It is lovely to have you here. Okay. As always, it is always difficult. I have gone in and altered some of these. As you can see, if I do this and I undo the hide layer, you can see that I've gone in and figured out where shading lines are so that we can better match it up once it's on the full map. So if there is a little bit of a blur on the map, that would be on my end, not on yours, because it means that some of these coastlines don't quite add up, but that's okay. I've just started, but I did change it so that you could see down here the number of assets on a map just for you, Tide Runner. Yeah, I know, everybody's here on a Wednesday morning. This is overwhelming. I hope you've got a drink, a coffee, or whatever, a beverage of some description. Yes. Okay. So, we do the hip happening place. Thank you. That makes me feel better. I need to rename these oceans and whatnot. So, I haven't named the ocean on this map yet. No. Nope. There is a crossing line. Yep. Cool. Well, that is something that you should definitely take care of first, Tyrant Dungeon. Okay. Let us do some name changes then. Are there any kind of names that any of you guys can think of? Within reason, obviously. I feel like I do need to give a caveat for that, because it is you lot. I'm just stuck on this one here. Helps if I can spell. That's how you spell Avernus. Gotta have Avernus in here somewhere. But yeah, this one here is the only one I can't think of. I have an idea, maybe. But I'll see if you guys can come up with something first. We have lots of rivers. Am I going to have to break this up? Potentially, because I don't want this too curved. Oh. If I keep going, yes, you'll become a circle. More. How about... We'll go with that first. And try to get this on this curve, shall we? My kitten just crawled up my leg. And she has tiny, tiny claws. Yeah, because I think hell has like 5 rivers. Oh, put that word back. Why you do this? It is a Wednesday morning, sir. Yeah, kitty scissor hands, yes, very much so. It's as far as it'll go. Also, the music I have been using lately has been from the NCS Arcade, which is a wonderful YouTube channel. Everything NCS, or no copyright sounds, is fantastic if you are a streamer. To the point that I've been listening as I drive to this as I drive in the car. Well, it's hard when you find good music. Yeah. Do you mind, little one? You have very sharp claws and I don't like it. Also, I don't want you to drink my coffee. My kitten has a habit of trying to drink my coffee as well. Which obviously is not recommended. Okay, the Cocytus River. Yep. Yeah, do so. Tyrant Dungeon, you need to eat some lunch. This is the... I don't know why I was about to move the map. The map would not help read that word. I want to make sure I get the spelling of that river right. Yes, food. Food is the thing you definitely had. You should. Sustenance is important in whatever form that you can get it, basically. Now, here's a... I'm definitely going to have to break that river name up just to be able to... Should I do it that way or that way, though? Have it coming down this way. Yeah, I'm going to have to break that up into 2 parts, I think. I think to make this work, I'm actually going to have to take it from the G. So yeah, so I'm very, very excited. I've had a couple applications for the game. And some of them are very, very intriguing. I cannot wait to actually talk to some of these people and see what they're like as players, what they like in the game, and what they like about D&D in general. And I've almost finished the custom list of, well, the list of playable species, at least for the Feywild. I'm probably not going to do every single playable race, playable species, should I say, for every plane, just because that would be an exorbitant amount, especially when what I've been doing is getting all of the stat blocks and everything that is required for them, so that they're all kind of in one place, so you don't really have to have every single book, because some of the species that I'm allowing are in Kickstarters that I sponsored and things like this, so you won't necessarily have access to it. So, but yes, I have slowly been making my way through it. I've also been looking at custom classes for my players to play, especially because I know one of my players, the wonderful, illustrious Tide Runner, wants to play a custom class in the Alchemist. So that would be really cool if at this point in time everything looks okay. But yeah, I'm very excited. That was a cliff face, not the word. And somewhere along the way of all this prep, I also have to prep for my existing game for when that comes back too, because they are in the past. So we might want to deal with that. Okay. You know what? Keep it nice and simple. With the rivers like this as well, it explains how Levistus is getting around in his glacier. Just riding around in his very cold limo. I'm gonna have to change some of these mountains. Now, which ones is it? Fantasy World. These ones. Because there was something very fun that happened with these mountains. So come in here to the advanced settings where you can go to your filters. Because if I am correct, I had some input on these ones. So we will see if this is the correct mountains. So far, so good. Are they just going to be dark ones? Yes. It's not one of the pink ones. Because we did end up with pink mountains. Bright, hot pink mountains. The question is, rather than doing that, can I just change 1, 2, 3 to the same? What happens if I do it to the same values? Well, it made them blue. That's a start. Just taking the saturation down, we'll keep it into grey. Oh, this is doing something nice. I'm happy with this. Yes. The question though is these two I'd like. Here we go. Here's the pink. Oh, I like that. What should we call this hillside though? Should we leave it the adamantine hillside? Let me know what you think. Such a cute little peeping emote. I like it, Tyrant Dungeon. I mean, the music isn't my usual lo-fi. So, and this is the thing. There are some songs that come on that make me want to have like a little bit of a dance party, and I'm so glad that you guys can't see that. Okay, well, this first circle doesn't actually get any shading, special shading or anything. So, I think I'll put in some towns. This one. And they are, I believe, size 13. That seems excessively small, which means that I have notes somewhere else which might help me out with that a bit more. Because that seems really small, and I think I know what I've done. Because I'm pretty sure it's actually 31. Gotta love that numerical dyslexia going on. 57,000. Those that know will know. Yeah, 57,000. It became a real thing, just really denoting my absolute poor math skills. Yeah, don't ever ask me to try and calculate something on the fly. It will not end well for anyone involved, namely me. I think that's all of them. Just referring to all my little notes I've got. So, I've been slowly working through my list of purgatory names. Which, the other thing I need to double check is all the text. Always make sure my text is on the 5th layer. The other thing is all the markers are on the 5th layer. Otherwise, I have a great time later. I have an absolute... Yes, I have an absolutely great time later trying to make sure that it's not overlapping over any kind of mountains or anything like that. So we like to make sure that all the text is where it's supposed to be, etc., etc. Yeah, otherwise you have to go back and try and select it all later. Now this means that this cliff here actually needs to go down a layer. And the amount of times that I've ended up having double named things because I just haven't gone back and rechecked. So much of this map building process is going back and forth between different maps. I love a good lazy salad. I'm not against salad, I just don't like taking a lot of time to make them. But I also want it to taste good, so... Because, like, there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with salad, but it's got to taste good. If it just tastes like crunchy water. Why are you punishing yourself? You like crunchy water. I mean, celery does have its place. Welcome back, Tide Runner. Do you too have crunchy water? Is it the fact that it's just cold, crunchy things, though? Yeah, that tends to happen. You gotta go in with a game plan and, see, I like the texture too. Sometimes you just want something crunchy. That name's a bit long for there. I'll put him over here. Yeah, but it's also Australia, so it melts far too fast. See, I feel like if I'm going to put asphodel in, I should probably put it in a plain somewhere. Where they could, perhaps, I don't know, have fields. You know what? With a name like that, I should probably put it, I think. We'll go neutral over here because I feel like barriers should maybe go up against the mountains. Looking through my list and seeing what jumps out at me, basically. Just the little electronic notes in this song kind of remind me of Steven Universe. And I like him, Steven Universe. I think it's a really great show. The music is fantastic. It scares you? Oh, I've blasted through so many maps. It gets to a point, the first map always takes the longest because I'm really working out the standard bits and pieces. So now, the longest part that these maps take me, especially now with the fourth part of the hills, is just matching up all of the shading on the circles. Because I've got like a whole list of like numbers of all of the values of the colors of things. I've written down exactly what assets I used. You know, so all of it is consistent. So once you've got it all kind of figured it out, you can actually move a lot faster. And I'm sure that there are people who use Incarnate far better than I that could probably show me some tips and tricks and like getting things to layer and stuff like this. Yeah, I will agree with that. There are some elements that I've really, really liked about it, though. I wish they had a few more modern top-down assets so you can build top-down, like, modern cities, like skyscrapers and stuff. I feel like I want this one to be called That. And if you know, you know. See, I like attaching a lot of my names and stuff to myth and things like that. So tell me why mistletoe makes a reference in what is essentially the underworld, a place of death. If you know, that is. Ooh. It also helps if I can read my own handwriting, because I do have a list of names in front of me, because I do like to try and prepare a little bit for these streams, so I'm not spending hours just Googling so that I can make a map, because again, that takes time. So it does help to have a little bit of prep, but that's only because I stream this. If you don't stream, you can take as long as you like to do it. But yeah, some of my maps do take a little while, just because there's a specific effect or look I'm going for. I like the idea of calling one place Wander and a place near it called Peace, so that they can go to Wander to find peace. Okay. One of these names up here somewhere. You know what? Nope. I think I want one more. Like here. There we go. I can't wait till you see some of the names I've got for listener. But for now, I can move that out of the way. Okay. Because we're gonna look for some rocks. Yep, looking for some rocks. Helps if I take the save off. Rocky plateaus. See, and this is why it doesn't work, because their layering feature will only work if it's on the same layer. gift of Gabby. Thank you for the reminder to drink some water. Everybody, drink some water. I am doing well. How are you today? Drink some water, crunch some ice, whichever way you're getting your hydration, Tyrant. You may do so. Ah, oh, fried pickles. Yes. A good it's really hard. A good fried pickle, man. I mean, like I said, a good fried pickle cannot be denied. Yeah. It is wonderful to see here, though, Gabby. We do like giving a shout out to our Americans because the dedication you guys show to show up for our streams and our games. Giving Tide Runner a little bit of stress out there with the sheer amount of assets. Okay. Yes, I always give my American players a huge kudos because, like, I like D&D, but there ain't no way I'm getting up at 3, 4, 5 a.m. to play. Yeah. See, I don't know how you do that. Don't like that. We'll leave that cluster as it is, I think. Just adding some different coloured boulders in. I don't like those round ones, I don't think. I see, then this ends up being a kind of nice time for me to stream then, because you guys can join me and it's not too late for once. Put in some rocks. Oh, thank you. That is a cool little emote. I like that. I feel like some of these boulders keep coming up and I'm like, stop trying to make fetch happen. Swamp trees. I can't think of the swamp trees now without thinking of Tyrant. Your little swamp boy. That's a little bit horrifying, Tidrunner. I know why these mountains look a bit weird. Because while I like these mountains, they should be a little bit more like this. How big is this going to be? Okay. Because these mountains are actually supposed to be green. Because my idea for these particular mountains here was something very similar to kind of like Welsh forests, Welsh and Scottish forests. You've returned with food and tea. Always a good choice, Zephyr. want to exclude. Oh. Should do that. That's a bit better. Now I can fill in some of these hills here with a bit more green. Which, move that slightly. Move that way slightly so it's not on the name there. Then there was one other thing that I've been using as well, because I want to put in some nice tall casts. Oh god. I just looked at the chat and out of context, Tyrant Dungeon did not anticipate you like to eat plants. Too big. There we go. That looks cool. Now back to tree planting. Which, if I was smart, I would use the tree brush. The problem with the tree brush is, and this is just my personal opinion, it does add them randomly, but then I have to go through and delete the ones that I really don't like the placement of. Oh, Gabby, I'm so sorry to hear that. No, sorry, I just looked at the chat. I'm so sorry to hear that. You have my deepest condolences. I hope you're doing okay. Yes, I hope you're doing okay and you're just looking after yourself. Well, that's it. Just remember to be kind to yourself and just get as much rest as you're able. Look after yourself, look after your mental health. Try and take comfort in friends and family. But I'm so sorry to hear that. Little unexpected timing. It is one of those unfortunate things in chat that you press send and then you kind of see the messages that come before it. But I feel that Tyrant Dungeon was saying that was so cool to the multiple brush, multiple stamp placer. I have no idea what you are talking about, Tide Runner. Ah, to the mountains. Yeah, it was something I was trying with one of the other ones, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want it to. This particular one, this particular circle of hell. This is where we're going to see a lot of the green. Do you think that this is a good time to save my progress? This one here. Do a save so that Tide Runner. So Tide Runner feels better. Yeah, but then when it crashes, like my iPad, my Procreate crashes so much because I've got so many different fonts and stuff saved into it. The problem with watching me do this Tyrant Dungeon is then it makes you feel like you want to be a part of the game, which I'm pretty sure you've explicitly told me that you can't manage it at the moment, but you really want to play your chaotic little cat boy. Yeah, it's not fun when real estate kind of blocks pets, especially because pets can be such, like, so important to people's mental health. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot of places in America where they can't ban you from having pets as in a rental. Yes, I recently, we got our kids a kitten for their Christmas present. Our existing cat, she is less than pleased about this progress. Yeah, no, I can understand that. Cats do tend to like their once they're set in a place, they don't really like to move too much. See, and this is the thing. I don't mind it when the trees lay out behind the mountains. I don't like it when you can see the trunk on top of them. Like this over here. See, like that. It looks a bit cool when it does it. And it's kind of just... this mountain here. Can I get in behind here? No. To do that, it won't let me do it. Okay. We will give up on that spot for a tree. And it's because some of these mountains are like bigger stamps, so you can't actually put stuff in behind it. I'm sure that there probably is a way to do it. Oh, Lucifer, that's kind of cool. Oh, yeah. No. Tyrant. Definitely. Definitely. Tyrant. I think she meant cat. Yeah, no. Our new kitten. Her name is Beans. She likes being held by like a baby too. Very different to Elfie, my other cat. Elfie is not really a snuggle cat. She likes sitting near you. She likes people and being near them. She doesn't like sitting on them. Whereas, no, Beanie, yeah, no, she's the kitten that tries to sleep on your face. She actually, when we go to bed at night, she actually crawls in between the quilt / comforter and the sheets and sleeps under the sheets with us. Whereas Elfie is content to sleep on top. See, and I'm leaving this part up here blank because that's where I'll actually put a whole heap of trees in on the on the big map layer to kind of hide that seam a little bit better. I am saving my progress. You must be terrified when you're not here to remind me. Is he a big cat, Gabby? Or is he a more petite cat? Or is he something like a Maine Coon, which... I mean, I love the look of Maine Coons, but oh god, the fur. The fur... See, all this is going to be populated, so may as well just fill all this in. I can change the area, the density, the angle. bet he's heavy then. But at the end of the day, I've realized that doesn't matter when you have a cat to snuggle. You put up with the weight because they are best boys. Best boys, best kitties. And hey, if they just want to snuggle, you are blessed. That's too uniform. Don't like that. I like some trees. I don't like too much. That is one reason I do use this multiple fill brush though, because I can put in a Russian Maine Coon. I like the randomness that brush brings. Those boys are big. Yeah, but the problem with them, I think, is I don't know how they'd fare in the Australian heat. I will say this: don't move to Canberra. You're too. I don't mean this as a way to offend anyone who lives in Canberra, but Tyrant, you're too nice. My experience with people from Canberra hasn't been the greatest, so. Oh, that's so cool. I love German Shepherds. Actually, any of the Shepherd dogs, they're all beautiful. Australian Shepherds also, beautiful dogs. Though the energy required. Yeah, our Whippets, we have a Whippet, so we have two cats and a Whippet. He is a purebred Whippet, and I love him, but he is a needy bitch, which is pretty standard for Whippets, let's be honest. If you want a dog that acts like a cat, get a Whippet. Yeah, German Shepherds, despite the fact that they're usually police dogs and things like this, they are some of the sweetest, most beautiful dogs. Very clever boys. Oh, come on, Nightbot. That was a bit excessive. Nightbot be out here being aggressive. such a good boy, eh? Kind of gets a bit that way trying to remember. All dog is baby, yeah. You only need to ask Valcor. His dogs are the queens of the castle. Kings and queens of the castle. It's so sweet when they're at that point as well, because they are so, I've always grown up with dogs, so they have a really soft place in my heart, because I grew up on a farm, so I'm used to like your kelpies and things like this, and yeah, sweetest dogs. Oh, now to populate some of these islands, but I think I'm going to have to do them individually so that we don't end up with a cluster of too much. Did we have any luck with why I called this place Mistletoe? Who knows their mythos? Oh, yeah. One piece of advice I was always given, never trust somebody who doesn't like animals. Let's see. What mythos do we think mistletoe comes into? And why would it pertain to death? I'm intrigued. There you go. Yep. There are some thoughts that Balder ate the mistletoe himself to be with Hel. There's actually a really, really wonderful... but the mythos does say that Loki did feed it to Balder. But there is a webtoon that I've been reading that really does a bit of a twist on that story, and it's really, really wonderful. It's beautiful. Yeah. Oh, goat farm. We love a good goat farm. So there's a couple of really nice webtoons that I do like. If you're into webtoons and stuff like this, Lore Olympus, Loki, Lord of Chaos, and I've recently found one called Mindful Love, which is a really interesting take on emotions, and I really like the story so far of what I've seen of it. Oh, Nightbot. Just allow... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Goats are menaces, but there's something about them. Just their sheer enthusiasm. But yeah, they can be crotchety. Pigs are another one that can be really sweet, or if they are having a bad day, they will let you know. Just for you, Tide Runner. Just for you. Doing the save. Nightbot just going crazy. Thank you. Yeah. Love of feta. Yeah, I love me some feta cheese. Goat cheese too. Saying that, I had a goat's cheese dill and bacon omelette for breakfast, so feeling particularly happy about goats today. Not me attempting to dance with the mouse there for a second. Forgetting myself completely. Trees! We need trees. I like trees. I had a friend that said that once as they were driving along. They're like, I like trees with their leaves. Yeah, I can understand that about turtles and tortoises though. A lot of people think that they're a really low maintenance pet, but they're actually quite involved and they can live for a really, really long time. So they become we're talking like potentially multi-generational pet, basically, that if you're not prepared for, can be, a little bit to take on if people aren't expecting it. But also, their requirements for not just water but sunlight and things like this. It's just like up until a few years ago, I had goldfish, and after doing a bit more research and things like this, in the end, I decided I didn't want, after, my goldfish passed, I decided I didn't want goldfish anymore because it's not ideal to keep them. Well, first of all, you need a lot less fish per tank space than you originally thought. But also, you need to constantly keep changing the sizes of their tanks because they don't stop growing. And that's the thing. So even if their external stop growing, their internal organs continue to try and grow because they just keep growing because, they're a type of carp. And so, they grow really big. And, I know that there are people that have the idea out there that it's just a goldfish, but, it's still, like, obviously I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, I'm about minimizing animal suffering. I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan or anything like that, but I don't think we should make animals suffer just for the sake of it. Even a fish. Yeah, rabbits too. And I think a lot of people don't take into consideration the intelligence of the animals that they're purchasing. Goldfish can live for 20 years. Rabbits are 10 to 14. And, there are lots of things that can affect their growth, their lifespan and things like this. I've heard that house rabbits are actually wonderful pets as well. See, my son would love us to get rabbits, but because we have the whippet and the cats, probably not a good idea. Particularly the whippet. Nah, that density is too much. Actually, in retrospect, because of what I just said about that, particularly this area, we could probably go up with the density. Yeah, I love some of the lop-eared breeds. They're very cute. Did not mean to do that, but not arguing about it. When I accidentally button mash, and so my computer decides that, yeah, we are going to save. Yeah, I think, yeah. Don't like that one. See, sometimes I like space though, but having animal companionship I feel like is different to getting human companionship, and both I think are equally important. Just because the type of companionship you get from pets is very different to what you get from friends, for example, because social interaction is still important. Like, and I understand that not everybody is as social or, you know, as talkative as me. Anyone that knows me knows that I can talk my way out of a paper bag. But yeah, no, it is important for our own sanity and our own mental health. You know, and I spend a lot of time on my own, listening to the sound of my own voice, because I am an audiobook narrator by profession. And yeah, I can tell you it's lonely, it's isolating, and just, you know, being a stay-at-home mum as well. Yeah, it's isolating. And so when I've had a particular amount, why are there rocks in the water over here? Why are you here? Us? Oh, don't say that, Gabby. I'm 35 and we've just started building a house. Slow and steady, man. You know, it's about the journey, and it's nice appreciating the build that you've got, but, you know, getting to slowly work on things as well was also fun. Yeah, no, I can understand that bit though. 100% do not want to live back with my parents. Wanting your own space is, you know, important. Especially if you've already moved out before, so then moving back in with your parents, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could do it. So I haven't lived with my parents since I was 18, and I don't think I could do it. I mean, not just because, yeah, but let's point out I feel like there were probably extenuating circumstances, Gabby, that have probably prevented it happening as fast as it probably could have. You know, that old everyone's favourite friend that was around for 2 years, so, and is still around. Just, I think at this point we're just kind of all just getting on with our lives. But yes, it did kind of put a few slight hurdles in the way of doing anything. Yeah, no, I completely understand. I mean, I don't always get along with my family, but yeah, certainly would not want to go back to living with them. Yes, that is certainly not a dynamic I need to return to. I have a feeling up here, which, by the way, putting this swamp up here around Slumber just adds to my tee-heeness for you, Tyrant. Especially because of your previous character in the world and what their role kind of is within the world now. For me, that's just kind of funny. Having a swamp around a town named Slumber. I will in a moment, Tydrunner. It physically will not allow me to put some bushes in here because I've made those grass tufts, which I think is fine. That's fine. We'll lower the density though over here because we don't want lots of bushes, but from the look of it, the density does need to go up. Otherwise, it won't. That's not helping. It's this one. Don't like that. I'll get the rest of these bushes in. Up here? No, did not like that. And then I will save. so it won't find what I'm looking for. It's got parchment textures. Might be able to just do a little bit of a shade of a swamp color over here. A little bit of a swamp color over here. Not that you can really see it under everything, but I think okay. What are we working with? I think that might be, we'll do a quick save. But I think that might actually be the Circle of Purgatory, at least done from this standpoint. Now the question is, I could start shading now, but if I... Tyrant Dungeon, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious if you did that. Maybe I should just make one of the channel point like rewards save just for you. I just realized somewhere along the way I lost a whole cliff. It's just gone. Likely it is that one. So let me put you back in there, sir, because you're supposed to be a cliff. Like that. We would like you to stay there, please. I'm so sorry, Tide Runner. It's just me trying to remember not to call you by your actual names. Because I'm trying to be good about that, because... yeah, not everybody wants their names known on the internet. I feel like it as I talk about me being an audiobook narrator, and also, yeah, you can, but I don't know if you want to call me to call you that on the internet, so I try to be really careful about it. But, you know, me talking about the fact that I'm an audiobook narrator, even talking about the authors that I work with and things like that to, you know, encourage people to read their books, because, you know, I read a lot of romance, but like, for example, I really believe in the sci-fi books that I read for David Parker Ross. Just because I love the character of Stacey Grant, I would 100% encourage people to go read his work. So the fact is that I talk about that. So eventually, if people do go look it up, they're going to learn that my name is Tegan Burke. They're going to know what I look like, because obviously my name and face is associated with that. I could just call it Zephyr or Yes Queen. I'm not going to click. I'm not going to try and click. I do like the fact that since Wednesday came out, though, on Netflix, clicking has come back. So, yes, Queen. But yeah, like, eventually people are going to discover who I am. They're going to discover my real name. I did debate for a long time about whether I should talk about the fact that I'm married and have kids and things like that. But then I realized, I mean, it is stuff. It is my life. And honestly, people who follow me, you know, a lot of the people that follow me are people that know me or friends or things like that. So they know it already. Well, that's exactly, you know, that is the thing. Like, not necessarily, you know, losing that kind of stuff, but yeah, you know, there is that idea that if I mention that stuff, I'll lessen my appeal. But at the end of the day, if they like the work that I do, they should like me based on the fact that this is what I do, basically. And that is the reality. I have a family. I was debating whether I would start the shading now, but yeah, then I saw like some of the best advice just today, actually, which is, you know, when you're streaming and things like this, at the end of the day, you don't care about the numbers, because just like D&D, it should be fun. You should be doing this because you have fun, not because you're doing it for a specific purpose to essentially, you know, gain fame, notoriety, that kind of thing. If that happens and that comes, sure. But if you're having to slog through a whole heap of, you know, games and stuff that you wouldn't necessarily play or do, what's the point? If you're doing it and you're not having fun doing it, why are you doing it, you know? So I figured I may as well be honest, especially the more and more that, you know, I talk about, you know, my job and things like this, because, you know, I like my job. And I think people should go read some of the books and stuff that I have narrated, either read or, I mean, if they're feeling really generous, you know, actually listening to the audiobook version. If you want to listen to more of me, that is. So basically, if you can't do it and have fun, why are you doing it? And I know that the sequel to the last one I gave you. Wait, which I cannot remember the last one I gave you. Oh, if it's the first one that I did, I'm still waiting to see if there's a sequel to it. If there is, it hasn't been written yet. Well, some people were also notoriously slow writers. Not me wondering why I can't see any discernible difference with what I'm doing. Yeah, no, me too. I don't know what that was about either. I mean, most of the work at the moment that I've done is on sapphic romances by a wonderful author. Named Cara Malone. So if you like sapphic romance, go check that out. Otherwise, yeah, if you like some good old Aussie humour, Australianness, yeah, go check out David Parker Ross's Perception series. It starts with Jenna Plural Wants You, which is from the point of a character named Michael Felker. And that is narrated, if you're going for the audiobook version, narrated by the wonderful Elliot Fitzpatrick. But yeah, do check out David's work. He is he is a machine too when it comes to producing books. So yeah. So if you like sci-fi, if you like... it's basically alternate reality as well. I mean, the scary part is it is set kind of in our world. Well, it is set in our world from our basis. It is set in our future. And basically Europe and the rest of the world is kind of at odds. There is the Pacific Alliance, which is like America, New Zealand... and the like. So yeah, you'd be a good writer, Tyrant. I'm just gonna finish this bit of shading here. I don't like how harsh that line is. No wonder I'm not getting any effect. Somewhere along the way, I clicked for that to be background, which we do not want that. So let's just fill that piece of water back in the color it should be. Oh, this is one of the big reasons that I DM. Love to be an author, but trying to write a story on my own with my own kind of ideas is hard. Anybody who has seen the crazy squirrelness of the way that my stories come out for D&D alone will know that I don't necessarily think in a linear pattern, and so we end up with crazy squirrel telling. There we go. And we'll save that. And we will jump in and finish this up again on Saturday night, where Saturday nights are usually a longer stream for me anyway. So instead of like 2 hours, it's closer to 4. So hopefully we will see if we can get this almost done then. Otherwise, if you want to see more of me, you can catch myself and Zephyr tonight over on Evil One's channel. We are playing Grungang. We are a group of crazy ass frogs in a D&D world. We're definitely not heroes. I don't think we're villains, but maybe we are. It's hard to say at this point. But if you want to see that, you can catch that at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time or Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which is what we are currently. Otherwise, I will be back tomorrow starting playing Tinykin at 11 a.m, which you can check all of my times basically down in my schedule. That will tell you when I am streaming. If you like what I do and you aren't following me yet, please hit the follow button and turn on notifications so you know when I go live. And if you are feeling really generous, please feel free to subscribe. Otherwise, you can catch me over on my YouTube channel, which of the same name, which is Boomeadow. And if you ever just want to send me a message or whatever, you can do it over on my Twitter, which is Booberry Meadows. Otherwise, it has been wonderful having you all here. Thank you for the follows, the raids, just the general chats. I love having you all here. And I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. So, until I see you next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.